And all five fans, we are set to go 3 rounds. Again, this in the welterweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, is the mixed martial artist sitting 5 feet 11 inches tall. Weighing in at the welterweight limit, 171 pounds. This 15-fight veteran brings a record that stands at 9 victories and 6 defeats. Fighting out of London, England, here is Michael Black Death Johnson. And next his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. Also a mixed martial artist, he stands 6 feet even. His official weight, 170 1/3 pounds. A veteran of 14 professional bouts, he has 9 victories and 5 defeats. Fighting out of Paris, France, by way of Algeria, here is Tahar Hadbi. Referee in charge of the action is David Swan.
Referee David Swan about to get this one underway. Tahar Hadbi in the blue shorts. Michael Black Death Johnson in the black trunks. 3 5-minute rounds if they need them in the Cage Warriors welterweight division.
Let's fight.
Brad Wharton and Josh Palmer, privileged to be calling the action for you. Just a couple of weeks' time, we return for the huge Cage Warriors Liverpool card at the Echo Arena. But right now, we've got Michael Johnson, Tahar Hadbi, about to go to work here in Amman, Jordan.
Yeah, both guys just trying to establish the range with the jab.
Michael Johnson is one impressively put together specimen,
I was
isn't
going to say,
he?
what a physique on this guy. Oh, huge kick from Tahar Hadbi. Michael Johnson is not going to want to make too many of those.
Another sharp kick.
I mean, they're finding their way all the way around to the hamstring. We can already see marking on Michael Johnson's leg.
Really good Thai boxing and Savate kickboxing in France.
Look at the head movement in Tahar Hadbi there as he racks up a 3rd leg kick. And there's the shot from Johnson. Driving all the way through, trying to turn the angle.
Fantastic takedown defense here so far from Tahar Hadbi. Great work.
Sprawl from Hadbi, and he's going for a takedown now. Johnson's got to get his base wide here.
And it looks like Tahar Hadbi is a jack of all trades.
Oh, is he going to try and throw him with this? He's trying. Tahar Hadbi has glued it to the inside of Johnson's thigh. Good defense here from the Frenchman. Johnson's going to turn explosively into him if he can create a bit of space with that arm.
No shortage of action here in this opening minute and a half.
It was a really good shot from Johnson. He didn't come behind anything, but he managed to get really deep on that penetration step. But I've got to say, it was a fantastic sprawl from Tahar Hadbi.
Great defensive work as well, considering he was backed right up against the cage and didn't really have enough room to fully sprawl out onto the mat. He was able to scramble it round.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times guys will beat that first entry or perhaps the first follow-up. Went through 3 or 4 changes in direction and switches of the hip there. And emerging on top is the Frenchman.
Fingers, Tahar, get your fingers out of the cage.
Hadbi there targeting
Tahar, get your fingers out
the
of the
knee
cage.
of Michael Johnson, which has a bit of strapping on it there, Josh.
Yeah, let's see if some knees get fired across towards that. Good head position for Hadbi as well, right up on the side of the chin. Johnson just slipping that now.
Guys, let's start moving, let's start moving.
And another UK MMA featherweight, Ash Grimshaw in the corner of Michael Johnson, telling him he has to get off that cage, and he does. Shucks his man off.
And good work on the break from Hadbi. You can see he didn't want to be clinched in open space with Johnson. Let's see if another one of those leg kicks comes in now.
Johnson with a leg kick just grazed the cup of Hadbi there. Hadbi says he's good to go though. Nice uppercut from the French Algerian.
Oh, and a slip from Hadbi. Johnson not quite quick enough to capitalise.
Johnson stepping in there, loading up that right hand, but Hadbi was able to get out of danger just in time. And Tahar Hadbi really keeping Michael Johnson guessing now with these strikes.
It's looking like he's starting to settle into this striking game now, starting to look very loose. putting the combinations together as well.
Those leg kicks are certainly going to start adding up as this fight wears on. Another leg kick. There's the shot from Michael Johnson.
And that time, you see, managed to get the angle, got partially behind Hadbi. As soon as he created the angle, Hadbi wasn't able to square up his hips. And Michael Johnson earns that takedown, but not long left for him to work.
And, you know, we talked about Johnson's fights being sporadic, but the fact is he has been fighting in this sport for nearly 15 years. He's been training for 15 years. There is nothing this guy hasn't seen before. There's nothing that's going to surprise him. And he'll have that veteran's mindset, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's the ability to stay calm, to change the game plan if you need to. Trying to trap that left leg of Hadbi to pass now.
We've seen so many guys who are known for being primarily grapplers, and they've had the takedown stuff, and it's not gone their way, and it's kind of broken them and confused them a little bit, and they've been baited into bad kickboxing fights, but not Michael Johnson.
Yeah, it changes the game plan so quickly when you don't get that entry, and obviously having a takedown stuff is tiring as well. Johnson's going to finish around in this top position, but I just don't think this is enough to give him the round after what was a really good sprawl. And some good damage on the feet earlier from Hadbi. Close, though.
A very interesting first round there, Josh. For my money, Tahar Hadbi getting the better of that one.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree, Brad. Let's have a look at some of these replays, those leg kicks in particular of Tahar Hadbi.
And that was the first one that really buckled Michael Johnson's legs.
The left hand didn't hurt too much either. But here, this was really good work to sprawl the hips repeatedly, and then you watch this crossface come in with that right hand and just turn the head of Johnson away.
Absolutely impeccable stuff from the man from Team Crossfight. Slip there. Johnson was coming in but couldn't quite catch him. Another big leg kick, but here's the takedown from Johnson. Tenacious.
See, it was all that angle. As soon as he was able to get partially behind him, very little the opponent can do to stop it at that point.
Seconds out. Referee David Swan about to start the second round. Don't forget to join in the conversation on social media. We're at Cage Warriors on Twitter. Use the hashtag CWFC Jordan. Tell us who you think won that first round. And of course, we'd love to hear your predictions for the rest of tonight's card. Jack Mason versus Patrick Valley is your main event later on this evening. Lots more good stuff to come here at Cage Warriors. Fight Night 11 from the King Hussein Youth City Boxing Arena. Michael Johnson now taking the center of the cage. Flicking a nice jab into the face of Tahar Hadbi.
There was some really nice head movement from Hadbi in the first round when it was needed. But just staying on the outside here, dancing around. Really nice check kick on the inside.
Looking very light on his feet. Moving the head, but moved it right into that right hand from Michael Johnson. Firing off the uppercut is Hadbi. A really varied striker, mixing up his attacks here. Johnson's going to have to turn it up a notch in this second round.
Yeah, you can see just a little bit slow on that strike coming back. Stepping through those, but Hadbi just slinks out of the way.
Johnson really loaded up that right hand, and that right uppercut lands again from Tahar Hadbi.
If Johnson can engage a little bit closer, throw those hands, and then immediately change level off the back of them, should find those takedown entries a bit easier.
Tahar Hadbi just that little bit quicker here, and because of that, he's content to stay on the outside. He can close that gap, land his strike, and get back out before the counter comes.
I think he's just going to try and wear Johnson down at this point, make him swing and miss a few times. But if he can just keep, I mean, I'd like to see the work rate upped a little bit. Of course, if he chooses to change the tempo at any point, that could really surprise Johnson. But at this kind of pace, he's just going to slowly rack up the points. But referee warning him there.
Left hand lands from Hadbi. A couple of jabs behind it.
There's Johnson shooting again, trying to change the angle. He's got both legs here. And a good takedown for the Englishman.
We saw Hadbi try and sprawl out on that one again. Wasn't as successful as he was on that first takedown attempt from Michael Johnson, and now the man they call Black Death has his opponent pinned up against the cage.
Yeah, butterfly guard for Tahar Hadbi. Not really going to be too effective with the cage at his back, but does a good job of finding his way back to the feet. You see Johnson's already let him re-establish the underhooks there and break away. Not space that Johnson, I think, perhaps wanted to leave.
The jab of the Frenchman, very crisp still. There's the uppercut again. Had a lot of success with that punch in the fight. Varying up the attacks, adding in the leg kicks.
And as we get deeper, that damage on that lead leg is going to take a lot of the spring out of Johnson. It's going to make him those vital half seconds slower on every single shot.
And you've got to wonder if there's maybe already a problem with the other knee that's taped up, and he kicks the legs right out from underneath him. Tahar Hadbi looking to pounce and land some ground and pound here.
Oh, I really like this posture from, well, Hadbi's controlling the legs well. He's obviously got to watch the up kicks, but good ground and pound now as he goes into the half guard of Johnson.
That right hand landed cleanly, but Johnson able to tie his opponent up here and stop the onslaught.
I mean, if I was Hadbi, I'd perhaps just come back to my feet here.
Absolutely. Rinse and repeat would be a good strategy here for the French-Algerian.
You see Hadbi's going to keep trying to frame on the face of Johnson, keep him at least based away, if not turned away. If he lets Johnson get underneath him and get a hold of him, there's options. But he's going to keep his pace high and stay away, I feel, here.
To give Johnson some credit, he's stopped the onslaught here. He did look to be in a precarious position.
Yeah, he's slowed the pace down, good wrist control. But he's got to do something here. I mean, he's running out of time, looking far side Kimura perhaps, but...
Guys, let's start doing something. I'm going to stand you up, come on.
Referee David Swan calling for action.
There's
Johnson's
Hadbi
calling for action as well.
Hadbi trying to pass for a moment, looking to turn the hips down. Johnson's got that left knee in as a shield, though. That's really going to allow him to dictate the range here. Although I think both guys are probably quite content to keep some distance at this stage.
Final few seconds of this round.
Time there, time.
And there's time. And you've got to think that Tahar Hadbi's 2 rounds up.
Yeah, I think
in this bout, Josh.
I think that's more than fair, Brad. Leg kicks really starting to let the damage show through in that one.
We talked about the veteran status of Michael Johnson. I'm sure he's been in bad spots before, and I'm sure he's come back from them before. He's going to have to dig deep and pull something out the bag here in this 3rd round. And let's take a look at some of the action that's already gone.
I mean, this was a good takedown. The mistake came when he let Hadbi back to his feet and didn't immediately go back to the hips. He let Hadbi get that underhook and re-establish the range, and then this happened.
Beautiful leg kick there from Tahar Hadbi. Just took his man's base out from underneath him.
And this was really nice composure from Hadbi here. Not just dive into the guard or dive into the half guard. Some short elbows. I really like how he was controlling the legs initially. See if he could turn Johnson's guard away.
Final round, yeah? You ready? You ready? Let's do this.
Final round in this welterweight contest. Tahar Hadbi in the blue shorts. Michael Johnson in the black.
Got to figure Johnson needs a stoppage here.
It's going to have to be a knockout or a submission. He's going to have to go to work. He's going to have to take the initiative. If anything, he has been a little bit of a reactive fighter rather than a proactive one so far in this contest, Josh. He's going to have to up the tempo here in this 3rd round against Tahar Hadbi.
We're going to see Hadbi stay on the outside, and then... Oh, and a nice kick from Johnson off that lead leg.
This is what he needs to do, Josh. Swinging that right hand. Johnson, incredibly explosive, athletic guy when he has to be. He's got to unleash some of that now. Taking more leg kicks, though.
Good sprawl again from Hadbi. Johnson voluntarily puts his back on the cage there. Hadbi with the stronger of the grips in this position at the moment. That really deep underhook on the right-hand side. And the head position up under the chin.
Tahar Hadbi stalling this one out up against the cage wall. Surely knows that he's 2 rounds up at this point. Perhaps not wanting to take too many risks here, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he wants to be too complacent. I mean, they might have a different view of that first round, for instance. Obviously, I think he fairly clearly took the second, but establishing some open space again quite well.
As the old saying goes, do not leave it in the hands of the judges. Thankfully, a competent set of judges here at Cage Warriors.
Bit of gamesmanship from Hadbi as he circles that right hand. But I mean, he had good work rate through the first half of the second round. I'd like to see him go back to that now. Throw some of the combinations, and as always, finish with one of those thunderous leg kicks.
Johnson pouring out with that jab. Hadbi, great head movement to slip those shots.
Yeah, I mean, the shots from Johnson are just coming slowly now, and Hadbi can see them coming. Shoots for the single from a long way out. Hadbi in with the crossface.
I think Johnson was going for the element of surprise there. Didn't quite work out for him. Wings that big right hand. Only going to take one of those, perhaps, Josh. But he's got to land it first.
Just wonder how many more of those shots he's got in him.
Another big leg kick.
No, he follows it back well this time, though, but good sprawl from Hadbi, and Johnson accepts the guard position.
Let's see what Johnson can do from his back. He's got a few submission wins on the ledger, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a phenomenal camp of jiu-jitsu guys down there at Legacy BJJ. As I said, under black belt, Jude Samuel, Ash Grimshaw, other guys like Viking Wong. So, you know, really good sports jiu-jitsu base, but obviously with a focus on MMA as well, as we see some rubber guard from Michael Johnson.
Can Johnson pull something out of that considerable bag of tricks he's amassed as a 14-year veteran of the mixed martial arts?
I mean, it's common from here to see the guy try and feed inside and wrap up the right arm, but just shrugging his way out is Hadbi.
And there's not too long left for Michael Johnson to do something about this. His corner calling for activity.
Hadbi's giving his arms up here by having them so far forward. If Johnson spins his hips out, this is the time in the fight when he needs to go for something. I know they're slippery, I know he's tired, but the options are there for him, and I think he needs to start trying to take them.
Could be armbar or bust here for Michael Johnson.
Let's go, guys, come on.
Johnson's corner echoing our sentiments, Josh, asking him to just go for something.
Yeah, I mean, spin the hips out, create a scramble, let's do something. You can see the arms of Hadbi are a little overextended here.
And Tahar Hadbi content to just ride this one out, not really making any effort to progress his position here.
Yeah, Johnson tries to turn himself around, but just leaves a bit too much space in doing so. And, you know, needed some explosion in this last minute.
Final few seconds of the round here. Tahar Hadbi landing a few strikes to close this one out. And Tahar Hadbi cruised his way to victory there in that third round, Josh.
Yeah, did a really good job in the sprawl, doing enough to make Michael Johnson have to reconsider the position. He accepted that bottom position and then just, I've got to be honest, was not active at all. Hadbi doing just about what he needed to do to stay there. And I think we're going to see a fairly comprehensive unanimous decision victory to the Frenchman here.
Well, Johnson's best work came in that first round, but nowhere near enough to take those second two. We're going to take a look at some of the action now.
I mean, that kick landed. That was really nice work from Johnson.
Fake low, went high with that one. Beautiful toes on the chin, but a beautiful low leg kick there from Tahar Hadbi.
And you can see he had the intent to do a little bit of guard work here, but didn't really try and progress it. And as soon as Hadbi freed himself from this hold, walked Johnson over to the cage, and that was all he really needed to do for that round.
Well, we'll throw this one to Joe Martinez in the cage to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the scorecards. All 3 judges have it 30-27. Your winner by unanimous decision, Tahar Hadbi.
As we expected, Josh, 30-27 across the board for Tahar Hadbi. The 26-year-old Algerian finding out of Paris, France.
Really good streak on the go for him now, 5 in a row.